Welcome to Game Plan, Red River Rivalry version, 2017. Today I want to talk to you about how the Longhorns can stop Oklahoma's offense, which features quarterback Baker Mayfield. Oklahoma has two good running backs. They rush for about 350 yards in their 5 games this year and 4 touchdowns. We're going to have to stop those guys if we want to have any chance at beating Oklahoma. So our first key to the game is to stop the run game. The second key to the game is to keep the tight ends and backs out of the passing game. And the third key to the game is pressure Baker Mayfield, the quarterback. But if we don't keep the tight ends and backs out of the passing game and allow them to get open in the short game, all the pressure in the world is not going to help the Longhorns this week. So let's take a look at how they involve these backs in the passing game. Here you'll see Mayfield gets it out to Andrews, his tight end, on a corner route for a touchdown. This is going to be another corner route, similar play, a little bit of pressure, but Mayfield escapes and gets the ball to his tight end for a first down. They really like to get Flowers up in the seam. He's number 36, and you'll see a nice 52-yard pass off of the play action, which they do use a lot to freeze linebackers and free up these tight ends. See another one. This time Flowers is lined up as a fullback, and he's going to sneak out the same type of route. A little pop seam, and another touchdown. And they'll also throw this pass to the halfback. In this case, it's Sermon coming out of the backfield. Once again, a very similar seam route off of the play action for a touchdown. They'll also get their wide receivers involved from time to time. Here they have a really well-designed play in the red zone. You can see Ohio State's in man. They're going to get number 2 to bite to the outside by running a little fake bubble screen and get the slant up inside of number 2, as both number 3 defender and the number 2 defender go in to defend the bubble screen. The play results in a touchdown. So this is Oklahoma's base offense. They're in 21 personnel. We'll start with the fullback, number 36, Dimitri Flowers. Right here, he's in an H-back position, but they'll move him back and play him as a traditional fullback. He really is a fullback, and they really like him in the passing game. They have number 81, Mark Andrews, who's their tight end out in the slot here, which they do a lot. And they like to throw him the ball as well. He's their leading receiver this year. They'll also play either one of these guys as an inline tight end. Another guy to be worried about in the passing game is number 4, Sermon, out of the backfield, as you've already seen. And then you have C.D. Lamb, who can also catch the ball. So let's see how we're going to defend this. First, we're going to talk about the coverage. Oklahoma likes to run the ball, so I want to dedicate my front 7 to stopping the run. But I don't want to let them get off the line of scrimmage free either. Here I'm expecting my defensive backs and outside linebackers to play physical coverage. I want them to jam on the line of scrimmage. We're going to play a 2-read with the linebackers having underneath anything coming over the middle of the field, and we can choose to bring 2 of the 4 linebackers in blitz coverage. You notice I don't have a nickel package in, and that's because I want big bodies on the big bodies. That means I want my B-backer on the tight end or the fullback to his side of the field, and I want my nickel back, in this case it's Malik Jefferson, to be covering the tight end or fullback to his side of the field. They don't really have them man, just want to create a collision to slow down their route. And I also want them in the passing lane. I really want a more physical specimen out there for coverage on those 2 big bodies. So when you play 2-read to either side of the field, you just split the field in half. And the safeties, in this case it's Brandon Jones and Deshaun Elliott, are going to read number 2, and they're really looking for him to go vertical. If he goes vertical, they have a man. If he does not go vertical, they're going to look to the next route depending on what type of route he ran. And I'm not going to get into a lot of detail on that here. The cornerbacks are looking at number 2 as well, and they're basically making a determination on their coverage based on his actions. Obviously, if number 2 goes vertical, the safety is evacuated with number 2. They've got number 1 man. And then number 2 can do a plethora of other things. And once again, we're not going to go into detail on that. But they're reading him, and they're determining their reaction based on the route that number 2 runs. So here they've moved Dimitri Flowers back. He's in a traditional fullback look, and we're still reading him the same way. I've changed the front a little bit here, and I really like this front. Ohio State had some success with this. They really did a good job with it. They've gone to a 3 technique and a 6 technique, or a go 6 to the field side. And then they've turned that B backer in. They actually ran a 4-man front, so for them it was a defensive end, and allowed him to crash down. And we'll take a look at that now. Ohio State's going to crash their outside defenders. In our defense, it would be the B backer in the end, or that go 6. And the linebacker does a good job of coming over the top to the boundary side. It takes away the pulling guards and allows them to make a tackle for loss. One thing I really like is this nose stunt. You can see it here, and I have the backer coming over the top. We'll talk about that in a second. This worked well for Ohio State. As you can see here, they ran it, and then gets the nose free, and he's able to get a tackle for loss. So you can see when the nose vacates that boundary side A gap in this case, there's 2 uncovered gaps and 1 linebacker to fill them. You're going to have to compensate. One way you can compensate for that is simply by bringing your field side linebacker on a blitz through the boundary side A gap. And the other way you'll compensate through that is, since your B backer is crashing down anyway, you just give him B gap responsibility. But now you may be a little vulnerable on that pop pass because your boundary safety has to come up against the run and play as the force defender. Here's a good example of that, and you can see the B backer is able to come inside, beat his lineman, and sack the quarterback. Here's another example of it. This time, the B backer goes all the way down into A gap and makes a tackle for loss. The final stunt package, which I really like, is this tag stunt. It basically means tackle A gap. We're going to bring our 3 technique across the guard's face into A gap, and here I have it drawn up with the defensive end crashing into B gap. And what that does is that allows the middle linebacker to play outside run responsibility and giving Malik the ability to focus on the pass, or you could blitz one of the 2. So it really gives you a lot of options and different ways to pressure the quarterback out of this set. And I think that Texas can be very successful, both stopping the run, getting pressure on the quarterback, and eliminating those plays from their tight end and fullback in the passing game. Well, that's all for Game Plan this week, folks. Y'all have fun at the fair and hook 'em horns.